Hello all, I'm Sven from Lightware, and in this video we are going to use the Lightware Device Updater 2 software to run a firmware upgrade on a Taurus UCX 4x3 HC40 device. In this setup, the laptop over here and all the devices on the table are connected to a Netgear switch so that they are all in the same network. The Lightware Device Updater software is the universal tool to upgrade Lightware devices. This software is available on our website at lightware.com and it's pretty easy to find, so just enter LDU into the search bar, click the LDU2 logo, and here in the download section you can choose the software installer based on the operating system of your laptop. On this PC, the software is already installed and ready to use. As you can see, the list is empty right now, but by clicking the Discover button here, it will scan the network and look for available devices. All discovered devices will show up in the list, including all the device information such as the device type, the IP address, serial number, firmware, and hardware versions. Now that we have the information about the HC40 we are going to upgrade, and the installed version is version 2.20, we can simply check on the website if there's a newer version available. Just browse to the product page, click to the download sections over here, and instead of scrolling down the list, select software and firmware, and usually the first entry in the list will be the latest firmware version. And as you can see, with version 2.21, there's a newer firmware available, which you can just download by clicking the download button. Going back to the device updater software, it's really easy to use, and the only thing you need to do is to browse to the location where the file has been downloaded to. In this case, it's inside the downloads. Select the firmware and click on open. And as you can see, the list reduces from 3 to only 1 device, and that's because the firmware we have just downloaded just matches the UCX 4x3 HC40. And to update the device, you can click the checkbox over here so that the device is selected, and then we have some update options over here, which is really interesting because if you are doing the firmware update, usually you want to keep the configuration, so by default this checkbox is hit, so it won't affect the configuration of the device. Also, it's possible to reset the device to factory default, and in case there is a password set, you can set the username and the password so that the device updater software can authenticate with the device. I'm going to leave it by default, so it will keep the configuration and the settings of the device, and the only thing left is to click the Start Update button. Now the software starts communicating with the device, and in a couple of seconds the firmware update will begin. You can see the actual status over here. The software is still waiting on a reply of the device, and now the upgrade process started. There's an indicator over here showing the progress of the update, and also there's a progress bar right here in the button. If the firmware update is completed, you will get a message on the screen that the device has been successfully updated and is now running the latest firmware version. That's it for today. Thanks for watching and hope to see you soon. Bye!